Teens in the United States are not civically educated. This was me, May 31st of 2021. Not only was I only 5 foot and looked very different, but this picture was taken before I joined Fishers Junior High School's We the People team. Little did I know my life would be changed with one thing: civics. Civics? You may be thinking, how in the world did your life change with civics? First, we should establish what civics is. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, civics is a social science dealing with the rights and duties of citizens. Civics has changed my life, and it can change yours as well. But before I continue my presentation, I want you to ask yourself, how much civics do I know? If your answer was none or not much, this presentation is for you, so listen up. The core of this issue is that civic education is not being taught early enough and at the depth needed for younger generations to understand and apply to their lives. Rebecca Winthrop from the Brookings Education says that 1 in 4 Americans, according to a 2016 survey led by Annenberg Public Policy Center, are unable to name 3 branches of the government. Some people overlook the fact that these behaviors start at an early age. Penn State University also states that by elementary age, children begin to understand political parties and their platforms. They often learn the wrong information starting at a young age through biased sources. So it is important that students take a civics class anywhere between grades 7 through 12 so that those biases do not flow through high school. This ignorance can be solved by the education of civics inside and outside of schools. Civic education helps with leadership and independence when it comes to your stance in government and your place in society. iCivics says students who experience high-quality civic education are more likely to complete college and develop employable skills, including communications and public speaking skills, vote and discuss policy issues at home, and volunteer and work on community issues. We can make the problem go away entirely by taking those matters into our own hands, by educating ourselves in civics and taking more classes that teach these topics. Forming civically educated students as early as 7th grade can form educated voters at 18. These classes can also be taken in college to expand your knowledge. Sadly, in America's 21st century government is getting less and less civically educated every year because of these statistics. Imagine if our country was only run by hundreds of people who had no civic education at all. Our country would surely crumble, which is why it is so important that you, a future voter, is educated to make the right decisions in our democracy. Political divides in the U.S. are creating extreme factions of political opinion. A survey conducted by Yale University says overall 65% of those surveyed believe political divides will grow. It may seem confusing and pressuring to take part in democracy, but civic education can help you make those decisions in the future on which candidates you think will best represent our country. Most of us won't be voting for the next 5 years, but it is never too early to start educating yourself. One of the easiest steps you can take is to listen to the 60-Second Civics podcast conducted by the Center for Civic Education. It is a 1-minute podcast that teaches you a civic lesson that fast. You can also talk to your counselor about taking courses like ACP Government later on down the road. Remember to take these steps and more in order to make your country and yourself greater than it was before.